We are now starting with a new chapter, that is modern periodic table. The first topic that we are going to study under this chapter is the structure of the modern periodic table. We know that over a long period of time there were a number of scientists who had come up with different forms of periodic table. However, the long form of the periodic table or the modern periodic table is a revised version of the Mendeleev's periodic table, and this table is the most convenient and widely used form of the periodic table of elements today. The modern periodic table has horizontal rows which intersect the vertical columns, and this gives rise to a number of boxes. The horizontal rows are called as periods and the columns are called as groups. So there are 7 periods starting from number 1 to 7 and 18 groups starting from number 1 to 18 in the modern periodic table. The numbering of the periods and the group is given by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, that is the IUPAC. The boxes which are formed by the intersection of periods and groups are the places where the individual elements are placed. If you observe the modern periodic table, below the main table there are two series which contain 14 elements each. So the modern periodic table consists of around 118 boxes in which 118 elements are placed. So as of today we know that all the 118 boxes are filled, and that is because of the discovery of man-made elements. The IUPAC, that is the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, they have approved the names and the symbols of all the 118 elements. The modern periodic table, it is divided into 4 blocks. 2 groups on the left which forms the S block. There are 6 groups on the right which forms the P block. 10 groups in the center which forms the D block, and the 2 series which are present at the bottom of the table which forms the F block. Let us now study the periodic table and electronic configuration. Mendeleev put forth his periodic table in the year 1869, but during that time the atomic structure was not known. That was the time when Mendeleev studied the properties of elements and arranged these elements according to an increasing order of atomic mass. However, after quantum mechanical model of atom, the properties of elements, they were correlated to the electronic configuration. Now, in chapter 4, that is structure of an atom, we have already studied how the electrons in an atom are distributed in shells and subshells in accordance with the Aufbau's principle, which includes the increasing order of energy, Pauli's exclusion principle, and Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. When elements are arranged in an increasing order of atomic number is also denoted by capital letter Z. Periodicity is observed in their electronic configuration, and this reflects in the characteristic structure of the modern periodic table. Periodicity means the trends which are shown by the elements and repetition of elements with similar properties after certain regular interval. The location, that is where the element is placed in the modern periodic table, it is correlated to the quantum numbers of the last filled orbitals. We already have information regarding the quantum numbers. So now let us study the electronic configuration of the elements and the structure of the modern periodic table. I have already mentioned that the periods in the modern periodic table are numbered from 1 to 7. After some inspection was done, it was understood that the period number is same as the principal quantum number, which is denoted by the small letter n. If we take a period, then as the atomic number increases, then one electron is added to the outermost shell, and this forms the neutral atom to the next element. So if we actually observe the elements at the end of every period, then they have a complete octet configuration. The first shell can accommodate only 2 electrons. So there are 2 elements in the first period, that is hydrogen and helium. Hydrogen has the atomic number 1 and helium has atomic number 2. So the electronic configuration of hydrogen is 1s1 and that of helium is 1s2. So the first period will end with helium because helium has complete duplet, that is S shell, which has a capacity to accommodate 2 electrons, is completely filled in case of helium. The electrons, they start filling up the second shell along the second period. So the second period begins with lithium, which has the atomic number of 3 and its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s1. So you can see the 2s1 has now start to fill up, and this particular period will end up with neon, which has the atomic number 10 and the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. So as we can see here, neon is with 8 electrons in its outermost second shell and hence it has a complete octet. The second shell, it has the capacity of taking in 8 electrons. We have already studied this while studying the quantum numbers. The formula that is used to calculate the number of electrons in the shells is 2n square. So in the second period there are 8 elements. Similarly, in the third period there are 8 elements starting from sodium, which has the atomic number 11 and ends with argon, which has the atomic number 18. The third period starts with the filling of the 3s subshell. Now we move on to the fourth period. Similarly, here also the fourth period will begin with the filling of the 4s subshell. The first 2 elements of the fourth period, they are potassium, which has the atomic number 19 and the electronic configuration is written in the condensed form, that is noble gas core of argon 4s1, and calcium with the atomic number 20 having the condensed electronic configuration noble gas core of argon 4s2. However, according to the Aufbau's principle, the next higher energy subshell is 3d, which can accommodate up to 10 electrons since the capacity of d subshell is to take in 10 electrons. So the filling of the 3d subshell results in the next 10 elements of the fourth period, which starts from scandium, which has the atomic number 21, to zinc, which has the atomic number 30. Now the electronic configuration of scandium in condensed form is the noble gas core of argon 4s2 3d1 and the electronic configuration of zinc is noble gas core of argon 4s2 3d10. After zinc, the electrons enter the subshell 4p for the next 6 elements starting from gallium with the atomic number 31 to krypton with atomic number Z is equal to 36. So the fourth period, it contains of about 18 elements, that is 2 elements that are potassium and calcium, 10 elements starting from scandium to zinc and 6 elements from gallium to krypton. So the total number of elements present in the fourth period are 18 elements. The fifth period, it has 18 elements present because of the successive filling of electrons in the 5s, 4d and 5p subshells. So in short, we can say that a period begins by filling of one electron to the s subshell and a new subshell ends with an element having complete octet. Okay. The next topic is the electronic configuration in groups. As we move down the group, a new shell is added. So the general outer electronic configuration therefore is expected to be same down any particular group. And also it is found to be similar in case of group 1, 2 and 3. In the groups 13 to 18, the appropriate inner D and F subshells, they are completely filled and the general outer electronic configuration is the same down the group 13 to 18. In the group 4 to 12, the D and F subshells, they are introduced at a later stage down the group. As a result, there is a variation in the general outer configuration only at the later stage down the groups 4 to 12. Now what does this mean? Let us study this in detail. We know that the modern periodic table is divided into 4 blocks. These blocks are formed according to the subshells in which the last electron enters, and the 4 blocks are named as S block, P block, D block and F block. First we shall study about the S block. In S block, the last electron is filled in the S subshell. Since there is only one orbital in S subshell, the general outer electronic configuration of S block is written as NS1 to 2. What is the meaning of 1 to 2? So S might have one electron or it might be completely filled with 2 electrons. So if we observe the modern periodic table, we will see that the elements of group 1 and group 2 belong to the S block. And this S block, it is present on the extreme left of the modern periodic table. Next is the P block. Now here the last electron is going to be filled in the P subshell. Now we have studied that there are 3 degenerated p orbitals, that is px, py and pz. The capacity of p orbital is to take up to 6 electrons. So the elements which belong to the 6 groups, that is group 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 form the P block. If you observe the modern periodic table, the P block appears on the extreme right. The P block ends with group 18, which represents the family of inert gases or noble gases. The first element of group 18 is helium, but if you observe, it does not have the P subshell, as its valence shell has only one electron where n is equal to 1 and its configuration is written as 1s2. But still helium is placed in the 18th group of the P block. And why is that so? Because if you look at its electronic configuration, it is 1s2 and the S subshell is completely filled. So group 18 is the only family in the modern periodic table which has completely filled valence shell, or you can say it has completely filled duplet. The general electronic configuration of the P block is ns2 np1 to 6. So S is going to be completely filled with 2 electrons and P will have electrons ranging from 1 to 6. Next is the D block. So D block in the modern periodic table is formed because the last electron enters in the D shell. Hence, the last electron enters the n-1 D subshell only after the ns subshell is completely filled. So that means the S subshell has to be filled first and only then the D subshell is going to fill. We know that the D subshell has 5 orbitals and the maximum capacity is to take in 10 electrons. There are 10 groups which forms the D block, that is group 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. D block is placed in the center of the modern periodic table. The general outer electronic configuration of D block element is Ns ranging from 0 to 2 and n-1 D ranging from 1 to 10. What does this mean? S will have maybe 0 electrons or even 1 or completely filled with 2 electrons. Similarly, D might have electrons ranging from 1 to 10. We have already discussed that any orbital with half filled or completely filled electrons is considered to be stable. Similarly, in case of chromium, where the atomic number is 24, we get the electronic configuration as 4s2 3d4, but then we make it stable by transferring one electron from S to D, and hence the electronic configuration becomes 4s1 3d5. So S becomes half filled and D also becomes half filled with 5 electrons, and hence it becomes stable. Next is the F block. So F block elements are those where the last electrons enter in the F orbital. So there are 7 orbitals in the F subshell and the capacity is to take in 14 electrons. The general outer electronic configuration of F block is ns2 n minus 1d ranging from 0 to 1 and n minus 2f ranging from 1 to 14. So here the s subshell will be completely filled with 2 electrons. The d subshell will have electrons ranging in between 0 and 1 only, whereas f subshell it will have electrons ranging from 1 to 14. The F block, it constitutes two series of 14 elements, which is called as lanthanide and actinide series respectively, and the F block is placed separately at the bottom of the periodic table. Now, with the help of the outer electronic configuration of few elements, we are going to identify the period, group and block in the periodic table to which they belong. So first is helium, which has the atomic number 2 and the outer electronic configuration is 1s2. Here the principal quantum number, that is n, is equal to 1. Since it is 1, it is going to belong to the first period. Since the shell n is equal to 1, it is going to have only one subshell, that is 1s. Since helium has 2 electrons, the s subshell is completely filled and has a complete duplet. Therefore, helium is placed at the end of the first period in the group 18 of the inert gases. I told you that helium is a noble gas or an inert gas which has completely filled octet, and that is why it is placed in the p block. Next is xenon with the atomic number 54 and the outer electronic configuration is 5s2 5p6. Here principal quantum number n is equal to 5, hence it will belong to the fifth period. The outer electronic configuration is 5s2 5p6, so it has a complete octet, and because it is going to have a complete octet, then it is going to belong to group 18 of the p block element. Next is sulfur with atomic number 16 and the outer electronic configuration 3s2 3p4. Here n is equal to 3, therefore it is going to belong to the third period. The 3p subshell here, it is partially filled and short of completion of octet by 2 electrons. Since p has 4 electrons here, so it is short by 2 electrons to complete its octet. Therefore, sulfur belongs to 18 minus 2. So it will belong to the 16th group, that is the p block. Now why are we taking 18 here? Because 18 is the group which has completely filled octets. Next is aurum, that is gold, and its atomic number is 79 and the outer electronic configuration is 6s1 5d10. Here n is equal to 6 and that is why it is going to belong to the 6th period. The 6th period, it begins with the filling of electrons into the 6s and then into the 5d orbital. We have already studied this. If you have s and d, then first the s subshell is going to be filled and then the d subshell or the d orbital is going to be filled. So if you look at the outer configuration of AU, it is 6s1 5d10. So we can say that 1 plus 10 is going to give us 11 electrons. So therefore, AU belongs to group 11 and the last electron enters the d orbital, and that is why it belongs to the d block. Let us now study the block-wise characteristics of elements. First are the characteristics of S block elements. The S block contains the elements of group 1 and group 2. Group 1 are called as alkali metals and group 2 are called as alkaline earth metals. All these elements, they are reactive in nature and they occur in nature only in combined state. Combined state means along with some other substance or element. It is not available in the free form. They are compounds. They are usually ionic in nature. Ionic means it is going to have a cation and an anion. Cation with a positive charged ion and anion with a negative charged ion. However, this is not possible for lithium and beryllium. And the reason for lithium and beryllium not forming ionic compounds is because they have only one or two valence electrons which they can lose readily to form M plus or M2 plus ion. Lithium has the atomic number 3, so its electronic configuration is 1s2 2s1, so it can lose that one electron and form a M plus ion. Also, they have low ionization enthalpies which decrease down the group, resulting in increased reactivity. Now, what is the meaning of ionization enthalpies? Ionization enthalpy is the minimum amount of energy which is required to remove the loosely bounded electron in the gaseous atom or molecule. Next are the characteristics of p block elements. The p block contains elements of group 13 to 18. So the p block elements together with s block elements, they are called as the main group elements or the representative elements. The last group of the p block, that is the 18 group, is the family of the noble or the inert gases. Now, these have closed valence shell, that is they have the complete duplet, or you can say complete octet, and this is the reason that they have very low chemical reactivity. Elements of group 17 are called as the halogen family. Group 16 are called as the chalcogens family. This includes reactive nonmetals. The electron gain enthalpies, they are highly negative. They gain 1 or 2 electrons and form anions like X minus or X2 minus, which have complete octet. The p block contains all the three traditional type of elements. It has metals on the left, non-metals on the right, and metalloids along a zigzag line, and these metalloids, they separate the metals from the non-metals. The non-metallic character increases as we move from left to right, whereas it decreases as we go down the group. Next are the characteristics of d block elements. The d block, it contains elements of group 3 to 12. Now all the elements belonging to d block, they are metals. The d block elements, they are also called as transition elements or transition metals. Now, why are they called so? Because they form a bridge between the chemically reactive s block elements and the elements of group 13 and 14, which are less reactive. Now, most of the d block elements, they have partially filled inner d orbitals, and as a result, the d block elements have properties like variable oxidation state, paramagnetism, and ability to form colored ions. Now, what is the meaning of variable oxidation state? Means they can give away electrons and have a number of oxidation states. Paramagnetism means if there are unpaired electrons in the orbitals, then it is called as a paramagnetic element. The elements belonging to d block can also be used as catalyst. Catalysts are chemical species which are used to increase the rate of a reaction. Zinc, cadmium, and mercury have electronic configuration ns2n-1d the whole raised to 10. So here you can see that the s is completely filled with 2 electrons and d is completely filled with 10 electron, and that is why these three elements, they do not show the properties which are of typical transition metals. So all other elements of d block elements are going to show the property of variable oxidation state, paramagnetism, and ability to form colored ions, except for zinc, cadmium, and mercury, because they have completely filled s and d subshells. Next are the characteristics of f block elements. The f block contains elements, all of which are metals, are placed in the two rows. They are called as lanthanide series and actinide series. Lanthanide series begin from cerium with the atomic number 58 and ends with lutetium with atomic number 71. Actinide series begin with thorium having atomic number 90 and ends with lawrencium having atomic number 103. The series lanthanide is named after the preceding element lanthanum, which has the atomic number 57, and actinides are named after the preceding element actinium, which has the atomic number 89. Now, the D block elements or the D block is placed in the 6th and 7th period respectively. The lanthanides, they are also called as rare earth elements because they are rarely found in the earth. That is, you can say that the amount or the percentage is very less. So the last electron of the elements of this series is filled in the n-2f subshell, and therefore they are also called as the inner transition elements. These elements, they have similar properties within each series. The actinide elements beyond 92 atomic number, so you can say uranium 92, they are called as the transuranium elements, and all the transuranium elements, they are man-made and radioactive in nature. In the next video, we shall study the periodic trends in the elemental properties.